Hi, I'm Rob Cosman. Welcome to my shop. This is our fourth bandsaw special. And what I'm doing is going through and showing you, I've got a huge collection of bandsaws, what I like about each one so that when you go to buy one, you may say, yeah, I really like that feature. So this was the General 290, and this was a wood and metal cutting bandsaw. It's 15 inch, measure the wheel. It's all cast iron, including the cover, top and bottom. So it's, I moved it in here. The thing weighs a ton. Good rigid frame, really nice machine. I don't remember when the last year they made it, but this one is old. I'm going to guess and say that this is 1960s. Some of the features. Now, this is not stock. The knob was more like that, and this is not stock either, but they were missing when I bought it, so I had to find something that would fit, and the original parts were no longer available. Now, I went and we had that little bracket mounted on there so that we could put our lamp on. If you look over here, this is your tension adjustment up here, and they generally use these four-spoked, whatever you want to call them, but you can really get a lot of torque on them. I like them. And this is the one for adjusting your tracking so that you're going to move that wheel in or out to get that blade running top dead center. So what you would do with this machine if you were going to run metal blades, and you can take it down to as low as 70 feet per minute, you disengage this top gear, and then you change your pulley. So if you're running wood, your belt is going to run from this pulley all the way up to this one. Can't remember how many feet, but it's quite a bit faster. If you're going to run metal, and I'm not a metal expert by any stretch, but there's a chart that came with the owner's manual, and it told you the different metals and how many feet per minute. I'll show you what this speed is like. It's really cool because you don't normally see a a bandsaw running this slow. Now that's the slowest. I can't believe that's 70 feet per minute. It seems an awful lot slower than that. Thing's barely moving. I'll just put it up to the highest speed so you can see. And the way you would switch these, now we put these link belts on. So your cone pulleys, your step pulleys, they're opposite, right? This one, the largest down to the smallest, and this one smallest to the largest, and it's just changing the leverage. So you've got to come off of your big one first in order to get enough slack to change the bottom one and put it up onto the higher one. Actually, we can go all the way down. There's enough tension on there to run it. So this would be your fastest speed. Now, if you look at the guides, this was designed for those metal guides that you've seen in some of the others, but these are called cool blocks. So it's some kind of a composite, and you just replace them. Actually, I think I actually cut these on the bandsaw to get them to fit. The Allen screw holds them in place, and you want them so that they're almost touching the blade, and again, you're going to run just below the gullet. Nice adjustments on this. Just a wing nut to keep it tight, and then you've got a threaded piece back here that engages a slot, and that'll move it forward and back. And underneath is very similar. This table will tilt. You can't really move that out of there. I think you can tilt a little bit to the left, but most of it, you're 45 degrees to the right. And you just loosen that lever, and it's fairly simple. Nice and rugged. Everything's cast iron, including the wheels. 8-speed. So you have 8 speeds in the bottom. Oh, you can turn them. What do you mean? You pull that pulley off and turn it around the other way?
No, you flip it. So you move the top one to the bottom and the bottom one to the top.
Really? My goodness, that's getting fussy. I can't imagine anybody doing that. But I suppose. Now there's a gearbox in here. I haven't looked at the plans to see how it works, but somehow there's a gearbox in there, so you've got to make sure that you maintain your oil level too. It's a lot of work a lot of maintenance for a bandsaw, but if you want that flexibility, you're going to have to do it. So another big bonus for the advantage of cast iron. Now, if you want to come up here, we'll The last one we're going to do is my general 15-inch that I use probably the most. In fact, I definitely do. So we'll save that for last. But this is a Beaver. I looked this up. This was built somewhere after 1960. What did I say? 67, I think was the date on it. And this would have been homeowner stuff, but well made. Even though it's cast aluminum, it's actually pretty rugged. I really like the fence. I think it's got I like that lever, how quick it is. Real beefy stuff. And by the way, when you do this, as you tighten it, it tightens here first to pull it square, and then it locks it down out there. What have we got for adjustment underneath? There's a big wheel right here to adjust, which is quite easy to do, and you can get, actually Jake, is that loose? No, it just has to be tightened. This pin for locking it at 90, this is kind of convenient. Just slide it over like that in order to pick up that extra 15 degrees to my right. Put it back, slide the pin over, drop it down, and then tighten it up. And it's good and tight. This has to have been somebody's homemade job, because I can't imagine an open belt and that shaft sticking out there like that. I'll turn it on and let you see it, but I want to show you also how you adjust your tension. Tension knob is down here, a little bit, it just needs to be lubricated a little bit, but not bad. But your tracking to keep your blade centered on your wheel is right here. So you would loop back off that and then tighten this nut one side or the other. And then there's a cover that fits down over, so obviously they don't expect you to be doing that a whole lot. And you shouldn't have to, only have to do it the one time when you change your blade. Set that cover in place. I'm just going to tighten it up because we're going to turn it on and try it. This was made in Guelph, Ontario. Oh, and by the way, the cover operates on a cam as well, so it's nice and quick. Interesting looking wheels. This one needs new tires badly. As you can see, they're all cracked, but now I got some power here. That speed looks a little bit slow to me, but that would be easy enough to change. You just have to put in fact, I would want a bigger pulley on there anyway, just for a little more grip. Can never seem to think of the word I want. That small pulley doesn't offer a whole lot of power transfer. So drop that guide down. I like these guides too. I like these angled ones because it just keeps everything out of the way, so you get maximum use of the full capacity if you need it. I think that's 7.5. Yeah, 7.5 inches, and you've got, I thought that this is advertised as a 14-inch bandsaw, but you have a full 14, you've actually got 14 1/8 in the throat. The wheel I measured, and it's almost 15 inches, 14 3/4. The thrust bearing on the back, which is kind of odd. I'm not sure why it's like that, but it's positioned on a bit of an angle. I don't know why. Oh, I know exactly why. If it was positioned straight up and down, then you're going to wear in one spot. But by being on an angle like that, you're wearing on more than half of that bearing surface. And the underside is the exact same way. They made stuff well back then. That's why I keep buying this stuff. It'll last for another 100 years. All right, so tomorrow we're going to go through, we're going to talk about this bandsaw. I'm going to tell you why I like it so much. We'll go through and actually it'll be a longer episode because we're going to go through and show you how to put the blade on, get everything adjusted so it's running perfect. All right, see you tomorrow.